Welcome to the Monsignor Martin Championship Football Weekend. This is Media Day. We have St. Francis up first. We're going to introduce our players from right to left.
Trent Buttles, quarterback, safety, junior.
Evan Necker, wide receiver, senior.
Matt Zielinski, wide receiver, senior.
Will Worketter, center, senior.
Sam Skalski, linebacker, senior.
Larry Hardy, linebacker, running back, senior.
Tim McCann, right tackle, senior.
Gentlemen, you guys are in the championship game. It's been a couple of years, but what's going through your minds and what really got you ready for this moment? And when did you guys start to think that this was a championship caliber team?
I think week one of practice, just the intensity. We've been working every week in and out for this moment, and I think we're prepared.
The first day when we started practice back in the Bill Stadium.
I think every year we come to the mentality that we're championship caliber. Starts from day one, and we build to that up until the day.
Yeah, by the grace of God, we're out there working every single day in the off season, summer lifts.
Starts in the off season, build team camaraderie, togetherness, all that.
This year when we had about 95% of our roster at summer lifts, we knew it was going to be a different team than in the past.
I think it was just the standard that we hold each other to and the brotherhood that we have that, made this team special and where we're at now.
I'm going to start with Willie. Willie, this team, along with your opponent on Saturday, feature two of the top running backs in Monsignor Martin on the same team. Both guys are new into the program. You're a new guy technically, too. You didn't start there, so just what is it? Is that where it starts for St. Francis, just up front, making sure that you got holes for these running backs?
Yeah, it just starts up front, like for every level of the game. You start up front, and we make our holes for them. They do their job. We get to celebrate.
What's the stark difference between Clark Jr. and Cook?
Yeah, they're both shifty. Ty's a more downhill guy, power guy. Dom's a little more shifty.
You guys also will go to Trent. Trent, you're really the new guy on the block here, came in from Rochester. Just talk about, being accepted into this fraternity of brothers, and then, is this the biggest stage that you've played on since you've been playing high school football?
Yeah, no, it's been great coming in. And, yeah, I definitely think this is the biggest stage. The competition that we play, the level of play is definitely increased from Rochester. But, just great to be here, great with these guys, ready to go out there and play.
The last few years, it really seems like St. Francis and, Canisius have really been the teams that have really kind of, run Monsignor Martin. Just what does it say about, the caliber of these two schools being able to get to this point? Really seems like year after year.
I would say just these two teams, I think these are the two best teams in Western New York. And I think it's just a standard that we hold each other to and stuff. The teams, they got great players, really talented players, and, every time we play, it's going to be a show.
I think it speaks to the coaching, too, that we see in these two teams. Not a lot of teams can say they have coaches with the resumes that we do, and people want to play for them.
Yeah, again, with the coaches and just the recruiting and the off-season work, both teams have that one goal at the start of the season every year, and that's what they're trying to accomplish.
To piggyback kind of off Trent, it's the respect we have for each other, the trust that we have for each other, that if I do my job, they're going to do their job, and we're always going to have each other's back.
I think it says a lot about the players wanting to put yourself in position to play at the highest level that you possibly can in Western New York football.
I think it's just like the brotherhood that we have all for each other and like the respect we have for all each other.
Yeah, I think it's just the culture at both schools, the desire to be the best.
Yeah. Now, you all have had a solid season, top to finish. How do you maintain the energy, the intensity, and not, like we saw last night, have a night slip up on you and you have a tougher game than you thought?
I think just the fact that, the light's at the end of the tunnel, this is kind of like the last hurrah for a lot of us. Most of us are seniors, and I think that that's kind of what's getting us through this.
I feel like just staying focused, everything come through practice, and like just staying focused really.
It's pretty much we really just don't want it to end. We're doing it for the guys around us. It's been start to finish the whole season.
It roots at the beginning of practice, how hard we push each other, keep you guys accountable, make sure they're eating right in the weight room, make sure the grades are all up.
Just thinks back to last year, we came to that St. Joe's game. We weren't prepared. We kind of took them lightly, and they beat us. So we just know we can't get complacent. And we have to keep working.
Just the love for football in general and the love for each other that we've built, and a lot of us these 4 years. We don't want to let each other down. We don't want to let our coaches down. We don't want to let ourselves down.
I think it's the mentality. We have one goal in mind, and we're going to do anything we can to make that goal happen.
That was the last question for St. Francis. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll bring on the Canisius Crusaders.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Back at the Monsignor Martin Championship Weekend press conference, we now have the Canisius Crusaders.
Amir Hernandez, running back, safety, senior.
Javez Caldwell, offensive guard, D tackle, senior.
Elijah Kimball, running back, junior.
Mateo Brusco, quarterback, senior.
Gabriel Oliveira, center, D tackle, senior.
You guys are back in the championship game again. It's got to feel pretty good, but just how are you guys tackling this weekend? You guys were at St. Francis not long ago. Things didn't go great your day, but you got an opportunity to take them down here in the championship game.
To keep the mentality up, fight, each play, do your 111, do your job, because we have the trust in each other to do our jobs and keep on fighting.
Yeah, well, I know we're all thankful we get a second chance because obviously we didn't do our job the first time. So, we're planning to win the week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, preparation, and hopefully we go out Saturday and do our job.
I say just putting our head down and working. We came in cocky the first game. They were the better team that night, and they got the win as they should have. So I say just putting our heads down and working.
I say the same. Just putting down, working, cleaning up some stuff on our end, and we'll be good to go.
Cleaning up the early mistakes and playing together, everybody doing their job.
So obviously when Canisius rolls in, they look at the running backs, and rightfully so, I guess. Amir, how much have you learned from Elijah? And then the same question for Elijah, how much do you feed off of Amir week to week?
It starts in practice. We just compete every day of the week, compete on Saturdays even. Just go out there, have fun, see what each other can do, and just watch each other play and just learn from that.
Yeah, like he said, we best friends. I had to learn how to share. Coming up out of my 8th grade year, I didn't really share the backfield with anybody in Little League. So, he was a class ahead of me, so we had to learn to get along with each other and stuff like that, And I never really been worried about, I say my personal stats. He on his way to 1K. He's like 183 yards away, and I'm more so worried about him getting that than me trying to reach 20 touchdowns or 1,600 yards because I want us to both have 1,000.
For the quarterback, it seems like the passing game's starting to pick up a little bit for you. Is that to help complement that running game more?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously if we want to be a competitive team and win a state championship, we got to be able to throw the ball better than we've been. So that's a goal of mine, and I know that's a goal of the team to be able to, get that elevated a little bit and add an element to our game in a way.
I know they're not here right now, but who are some of those receivers that you look for?
Our receivers are awesome, man. We got Cullinan, Noah, those guys are great, and then even in the slot, Jay Love, he's great, man. I got confidence in those guys. I hope they got confidence in me. I know they do, but, yeah, they're good.
Gabriel, just talk about the line play of the Canisius Crusaders and how it's gotten you through the year and been able to open up holes for these. We're almost at 3,000 yards between them.
Yeah, we've always had the mentality to have the communication between each other and trusting with between each other, because if not, it won't work out. So we make sure to do our job, they'll do their job, and the touchdowns come after that.
And the same question for Javas.
Yeah, I say we're really equal as one. We play very aggressive football, and I feel like that makes us be able to open holes for these two guys right here.
Over the last 15 years, it really seems like it's either been Canisius or St. Francis that's been winning the Monsignor Martin Championship. Just what does it say about the quality of these two programs and what it's meant for Monsignor Martin football?
Both schools definitely put in the work to get into the championship. We are both all hard working, and we all just put in the work to get back into the chip.
Both sides have great coaches. St. Francis has Jerry Smith. He done coached D1 guys. He got 27 championships to his name. Coach K, 35 years of experience. Coach Rob Gronkowski sent guys into college. So both guys got great experience, and when you pour great experience into players who are willing to work, that's just what you get.
Yeah, no, we got nothing but respect for them, It's just two great programs, Best team's going to win, whoever prepares better and comes to play on Saturday.
Just listening to our coaches, doing our job, because we know they'll do their job and continue to fight for them as they fight for us.
Yeah, fellas, Carson Harper, I'll be on the call tomorrow. Tell me about kind of the narrative, not only with the coaches at practice, but you guys in school, after school. What are you guys talking about? How are we preparing for this specific game?
Just making sure to do your job, keeping the grades up, helping each other out where we can, and making sure to be there for each other and have that brotherhood always.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to stay level-headed for sure. Can't go in cocky like he said before. It's not going to work. So, hold each other accountable and do our responsibilities.
Yeah, like I've been saying, being cocky, man. If you're cocky and you're not humble, trust me, you'll eventually be humble. And I can say we're all humble that night. They was up 22-0 on us in like the first 10 minutes of the game, and that was very humbling. I don't think we have ever been in a position like that. So I definitely say just being humble.
Like Eli said, being humble, going in level-headed, respecting them as a team. They're obviously great athletes. We go and respect, get our young guys up to like they should be. We'll be good to go.
Like they said, just being level-headed, starting in practice, just bringing the energy, and hoping that translates to Saturday.
Thank you guys very much. We're going to bring your head coaches up right after our commercial break.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
Or an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. More information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Seek your next adventure. Make your next memory. Explore your next connection. What will you do next?
Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Cha-cha's catch up. If you've been injured, don't you worry, Cha-cha's catch up. Don't you worry, Cha-cha's catch up.
Call 648-3030.
Welcome back to the Monsignor Martin Championship Weekend. This is Media Day for Canisius and St. Francis. You're watching on Western New York Athletics. We have both head coaches with us, Craig Kurtzansky, a graduate of Canisius High School, and Jerry Smith. The high school he graduated is no longer open. Anyway, Coach Craig Kurtzansky, last year you guys won the Monsignor Martin Championship, so you guys are the reigning Monsignor Martin champion. Heading into this game, being played here at wonderful Coyer Field, Buff State. Why don't we talk about your season, how you guys got to this point?
Yeah, we started off slow. We played a few games out in Ohio. Real good football teams. Two were in the state championship game there, and one was suspended after using illegal players. So they would have been in the state championship. They were 10-1 when they got suspended. But when we came home, it gets a little bit easier. We play those people to get better. We also need games, of course. And so when you go out of town, it's always a good team because nobody wants to play them out there. And so we go and we try to get better and hopefully get our kids exposure and at the same time preparing us for what we have to come in our league.
And then Coach Smith, kind of the same thing. You guys 9-1 finished the season. You had that one blemish at Athol Springs against that team from Boston.
Oh, Catholic Memorial, yeah.
Catholic Memorial. What have you guys learned about your team in that particular game?
Well, the one thing that I learned was we didn't give up, and our kids just kept playing, kept believing in themselves, and except for a few mistakes, that game was for the taking. And I think our guys realized that after that game because there was a lot of people there from Western New York, and they all looked, and they were looking at me like, dude, you're crazy for going to play these guys like that. I mean, and I know Craig says the same thing that sometimes we have no choice on who you have to play because you need a game. And I know if you get too many of those on our schedule, none of us have 100 guys on our varsity like these guys do. Yeah. So we have to be judicious in how we, arrange those schedules, But in that game, we found out a lot about ourselves, which was good because during the whole course of the year, we faced adversity several times about a lot of different things.
I know it's hard to look at your programs and get overly excited about them from the standpoint that your two programs have been winning the Monsignor Martin Championship year after year after year.
That's okay.
That's where I'm going with this. So, well, what does it say about these programs? You guys seem to have a lot of, help from administration to help you guys do what you guys do and bring in these players that are just next level players. You got a number of guys on your rosters that are getting ready to go play college football in next year or even the year after.
Well, I think one of the things both schools do is we hold ourselves to a standard. And, and sometimes that standard, a lot of guys that come in, that transfer in, like both schools have a lot of transfers in, and they want to be part of that, but they don't know what is behind it. There's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of old school coaching where you're either going to do this or go move on someplace else because this is how we do things and this is how it works. And we're more than happy to listen. If it fits in, that's great. If it's not, we're going to move on to what we have to do, because both of us both our schools have a history of success. So, if I'm a Western New York player, I'd be nuts not to play at one of our schools. But red's a pretty nice color, though. Just so.
I can speak to that a little bit. Coach talked about the standard, which is high for both our schools. I think the biggest thing, and I've known Coach for a long time, and I just think we care about kids. And we don't care just about the football piece of it. We care about them in life. And we want to get them to colleges to be successful. So you come to St. Francis, you come to Canisius, not to change your football team, but to change your life. And so that's why we're successful. Because some of these other guys just worry about the football piece. And if you only worry about that, you'll win a little bit. But in the long run, you're going to lose out.
Craig, I just wanted to get your thoughts in particular, just on the challenges of having to try to repeat, because you get to a championship, you win it. In some cases, some guys might get complacent. Just what are the challenges have been for your team, just trying to make sure not to get complacent and try to be able to reach this point again and being able to try to come on top again.
Because I think the outcome of winning is a lot better than the outcome of losing. Motivation comes in a lot of different ways, but it's a new team. I mean, Coach's team is 1,000% different than it was last year, right? I think we're different in what we're doing some things. I mean, we start a freshman on our defense. He doesn't even know what the game means. So I don't look at it as it's a repeat. It's these kids' opportunities now. And so that's how I've always coached, and you're supposed to move on. And we do a good job of that. I know Coach does a good job of that, and we're competitive people. We want to win all the time. So
to back up, that also is both our schedules. If you're a good player in Western New York, I mean, when colleges come to Western New York, they stop at our two schools, every one of them, even if they think they don't even have, they couldn't get a guy, okay, from us. They come in and the first thing they say is, we know who you guys are, we know who you play, we know the kid that comes from your school is going to be high character, he's going to be able to play, there's no doubt about it, and we don't have to worry about his grades and stuff of that nature. So it is something where kids in Western New York know that if that's what you want to be, that's what you want to do. If you want to have success, that's the two places you got to be at.
And a question for both of you gentlemen. You've been involved in Western New York football for a very long time, not only involved, but very successful. Can we speak on kind of the evolution from when we first started to now what we're seeing today?
One, I think I'm a lot calmer than I used to be as far as coaching goes, but I think what happens is, for me at least, I refined my skills of the relationships that I build with the players. Before it was more of, because when I first started, I was only like 23 years old, and these guys were 18 years old, so I'm right with them, you know what I mean? I'd see them down on Elmwood and stuff like that. We'd have some conversations about things, but as the years have gone by, I've become, I used to be a father figure, now I'm a grandfather figure, so it does get there, but it is something where I think that's the biggest thing of developing how you have the relationships, and to realize that what's important to that player is important to us, because it doesn't matter if, he might not have to pay rent or pay bills and stuff, but whatever he's going through matters to him at that stage in his life, and it's very important. I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken out of this so far.
Thanks, Coach. In regards to the football piece, I think I'll just talk about the game, how it's changed. 1991 was my first year as head coach. We were in the power I offense, 3 running backs, tight end, 2 tight ends. We're kind of back there now. So I don't know how much that's evolved, right? It depends on what you're telling us. In regards to what Coach just said, the thing I value now more than I would have done when I was a young coach is the relationships I have with people. And not only the kids, but the coaches and Coach Smith and all of these guys. And so that is the biggest thing that I've changed over my time. I think everybody's going to age out. I think I will age out at some point. You surround yourself with good young coaches that are in the game and understand the kids, you can hang in there a long time. But it's all about relationships, and I mean that in all sincerity. I mean, we all know football. I mean, one of the things that happens when you play coach, or you play the teams from Ohio, you can't out-coach those guys. They all know the game. So what's the next thing? How hard your kids play. How do you get your kids to play hard? Buying into what you're selling. And what we sell is relationships and care, and we care about you, and we're just going to try to be the best version we can be. So.
All right, why don't we get into this game tomorrow? I wanted to ask Craig first. How much different is your team today as it was just a few short weeks ago when you guys went to Athol Springs? Like, how much has that team changed, if at all?
I don't know. There's only been one game in between, so it's kind of hard to say that. We've changed. I mean, we have more film. We have 2 weeks of preparation. So, I mean, the players are all going to be the same, right? I mean, they have really good players. They know what we do. We know what they do. One thing I do know, and I'm sure Coach will say the same thing, we're not going to change. I mean, we are. This is what we are. You got 4 days to get ready for St. Francis. Because up until last Saturday night at 7 o'clock, I didn't know who we were playing, right? So that's it. The best version of ourselves on Saturday afternoon or noon, and hopefully our kids will prepare, and I know they have, and we'll see. A good football team's going to win Saturday.
Well, to reiterate, it's exactly what it is right now what we try and do is we try to make sure that whatever we do to the best we possibly can. A lot of times we don't really worry about, who we're playing or what we're playing or what they're doing all the time. As long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, we're going to be okay. We also know that it's definitely not going to be the same type of game that happened 2 weeks ago. That just so happened to be the way it was. Well, every game, every time you play is a whole new environment. So the attitude you bring in, the confidence you come in with, and that all comes from your preparation, like Coach is saying. It goes, so as long as you prepare, and however you want to prepare, because there's many different ways to skin the cat, but we're definitely going to, and we already know that we're prepared, and when it's going to be a great game. I think Western New York football. This is the two best programs over the last many years, and to get after it and to play hard, you can't ask for anything better than this in Western New York.
Which brings me to my last question for you guys is, just a couple weeks ago when you were playing at Athol Springs, you had to at some point just kind of look around and see how many people came out for that game. Now, it wasn't the only game in town that night, but that place, you couldn't move. And did you guys catch yourselves just turning around and just taking it all in and say, this is really special? And this is the way it should be every weekend here.
Yeah, I wonder who the hell all those people on the sideline were, but no, it was obviously a great atmosphere. It was chaos. It was awesome. It was two really good football teams. So yeah, I took it in. You always take it in, right? Like, you understand the opponent and you understand your own team and the magnitude of the situation. But inside, I knew that the game meant a lot, but we were probably going to see each other again. And so that game in and of itself, that 1 week where people got to see our programs, we knew that there was going to be a bigger game in probably 3 weeks. Or at least I did. So that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, I usually don't notice the crowds and stuff like that at all the games. I just get focused in where I don't observe that at all. But at halftime, just before we went, one of my coaches came up and said, "We can't go into the locker room." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "It's jammed people to people. We can't even get through." I said, "Just follow. We're going to get in there. Don't worry about it." So, which we did get in, but
did you get out?
I did look. No, there was no problems. I mean, they found room somewhere, But yeah, a lot of the people there weren't Monsignor Martin people either. A lot of kids from other schools will want to check out what all the hype is, and how they want to compare and stuff. You know what I'm saying? which is probably going to lead into your, hopefully, a future announcement that you have with the section, which will be pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty. It's nice. That's the way it should be. All our football games should be like that, in Western New York, not 200-300 people only.
Well, I know we're getting ready for a great game tomorrow night, and again, it's going to be played right here at Courier Field Saturday, 12 noon. I have no idea how ticket sales are going, but if the last game is any indication, it should be a sellout. And just hope your programs come through unscathed and put on a good show for everybody. And you guys have done a fantastic job all season and over the years, so we thank you very much for participating in the press conference today.
You're welcome. Thanks. You too.
We'll see you Saturday, 12 noon at Courier Field. Canisius versus St. Francis for all the marbles.